An unnamed man is tragically killed in a car accident and reincarnates as a magical sword in another world. He can fly and learn skills by killing monsters thanks to his telekinesis. While waiting for his destined wielder, he decides to continue slaying monsters and becoming the most powerful sword in the world. Elsewhere, a black cat girl named Fran lives as an abused slave, but dreams of greatness. Sword enters a forest one day after acquiring numerous skills and great warrior abilities, where touching the ground drains his magic to zero. He has been trapped for months because he is unable to fly. The humans Fran belongs to are attacked by a bear monster. Seeing her fellow slaves being slaughtered, she is desperate to help and spots Sword nearby. Touching his handle, he is able to communicate with her via telepathy and fly again. He imparts all of his abilities to her, transforming her into a formidable warrior who uses him to easily dispatch the monster. Fran's owner demands the sword and begins to harm her. Sword, enraged, murders him and burns Fran's slave contract, freeing her. He formally requests Fran to be his wielder, and she agrees because it is her goal to evolve, something no black cat has ever accomplished. Fran refers to him as teacher because she regards him as her teacher. Teacher makes the decision to devote his new life to keeping Fran safe. Fran saves Randall, an adventurer, from a goblin ambush. Teacher conceals his sentience and only communicates with Fran through telepathy. Nell, the receptionist at the Adventurer Guild in Alisa Town, informs Fran that she must pass a battle simulation, and the examiner is Denadrant, a powerful Oni. Fran and Teacher combine sword skills with magic, which Nell believes is impossible unless Fran has two brains. Denadrant happily admits defeat. Klimt, the guild master, accepts her as a sword mage. Fran sells some of her loot for a small fortune, making nearby mercenaries envious. They pick a fight with her because they believe a black cat can only be a thief and a liar, but Nell, who has decided she likes her, intervenes. Unable to stand them insulting the black cat species, Fran severs the lead mercenary's legs while beating up the rest. They insist Fran be arrested, but Nell and the guild adventurers all agree it was self-defense and fine the lead mercenary 100,000 gold, with Nell revealing her dark side by refusing to heal his legs until he pays. Teacher decides they need a room for the night and armor for Fran. Meanwhile, a dwarf adventurer with the highest level appraisal skill God Sight recognizes Teacher as a living, intelligent sword. Garrus, the dwarf, invites Fran to his shop, explaining that he is the well-known wandering blacksmith of Granzel. Other adventurers are envious because Garrus is notoriously picky about who he sells his gear to. After selling Fran enchanted armor, Garrus asks about Teacher. Teacher is concerned that he is not as powerful as other swords, but Garrus reveals that what makes Teacher the most powerful is his ultra-high monoconductivity. The more magic Fran puts into him, the stronger he becomes. Garrus admits that he is not skilled enough to forge a sword like Teacher's, so he was created by a divine blacksmith. Teacher pays Garrus to make a scabbard for Teacher and other equipment for Fran. With time to spare, Fran and Teacher acquire more clothes, food, and a room. Elsewhere, the surviving goblins that ambushed Randall use magic to evolve into hobgoblins. Fran saves 3 adventurers, Lily, Cruel, and Eustace, on her first quest, herb gathering, by slaying the hobgoblins. The adventurers are concerned. The presence of hobgoblins indicates that a goblin king has recently evolved, and he should seek out a goblin queen. Their offspring will form a hobgoblin army capable of threatening Alisa City. Fran decides to destroy their nest on her own, but Teacher is concerned as Fran attacks recklessly, ignoring her injuries. Fran kills all of the goblins present, claiming that she must grow stronger. When the adventurers return with reinforcements, they discover that the goblins came from a dungeon. Klimt organizes a raid on the dungeon the next day and promotes Fran. Garrus repairs her armor and claims that the goddess of chaos empowers dungeon masters. Fran drags Teacher to the bathhouse, much to his chagrin, but Nell chastises her for bringing a weapon. Nell explains that the goddess of chaos creates challenges for the world, such as dungeon masters, to keep it from stagnating. The god of war was evil and was defeated by other gods, but not before he spawned goblins and other monsters. Nell complains that August, the captain of the guard, refuses to send knights to help them and wants Amanda, the guild's ace, to return from her journey. The next day, Garrus gives teacher his completed scabbard and Fran joins the party, led by Denadrant. The goblins ambush them at the dungeon entrance and kill many. Fran kills several goblins and enters the dungeon. Inside, a goblin gloats that with the monster he just summoned, the Goblin Empire is invincible. Fran and teacher decide to only kill and absorb crystals from useful goblins, leaving the rest to the others. They find the Goblin King and Queen, but surprise them by killing them with a single attack. They realize the dungeon is bigger than they thought, and fight their way through a swarm of giant beetles. They find the dungeon master, an intelligent goblin who managed to summon a high-level greater demon through a hidden door. The dungeon master boasts that he and his servant will rule the world, but the demon warns his summoner not to give him orders and attacks Fran. He is much more powerful than any enemy she and teacher have faced before and slices off Fran's hands, but teacher quickly heals her. Meanwhile, the rest of the party cannot get past the door to help her. Teacher asks Fran to retreat, but she refuses and continues to fight the demon. The demon acknowledges that Fran's sword skills are superior to his and then uses his special skill taker ability to steal her sword skills, boasting that she is doomed. Because Fran's sword skills are borrowed from teacher, skill taker fails to function. The dungeon master attempts to assist the demon, but he refuses his help. Teacher recalls that a dungeon master's summons cannot survive without him and instructs Fran to target him with her attacks, forcing the demon to shield him. Fran hurls teacher at the dungeon master, but when the demon tries to catch him, he unexpectedly changes direction and impales the demon instead, killing him. The teacher's blade breaks in the process, leading Fran to believe he is dead, before revealing that he can repair himself by absorbing the demon's crystal. They assassinate the dungeon master, causing the dungeon to vanish. The rest of the party congratulates her, but Denadrant berates her for going off on her own and not waiting for them. Teacher soothes her by promising to make her curry, and reveals he gained skill taker and uses his new experience levels to max skill taker and his sword skills. Klimt calls Fran and inquires about the demon's crystal, which is a highly valuable material. Fran conceals the fact that teacher absorbed it and claims it simply vanished. Klimt believes her, but August storms into the office and accuses her of lying. August, vice captain of Alice's Knights, uses his skill falsehood to identify Fran's lies. August is evaluated by teacher, who discovers that he uses his abilities to falsely accuse commoners and charm his superiors. August demands all of the dungeon loot as restitution for Fran's deception of a noble, but Klimt refuses because the loot belongs to the adventurers. Teacher employs skill taker to steal August's skills falsehood and etiquette, rendering him socially dysfunctional. Fran is promoted to D rank and quickly gains popularity among her guildmates. Fran discovers that etiquette has improved her charm. Teacher dreams of his reincarnation, which included 3 beautiful women. Teacher makes Fran the curry he promised and other meals to keep preserved in his dimensional storage space for Fran to eat on long journeys. Fran becomes aware of a rumor. August embarrassed himself in front of royalty, infuriating his father, Count Holmes. August appears to Fran, balding and filthy, and Fran misidentifies him as a zombie. He accuses Fran of cursing him and ruining his life, and he has hired an assassin to assassinate her. The assassin is revealed to be a blue cat, longtime adversaries of black cats, such as Fran. A woman with pointed ears approaches Alice elsewhere and reveals that the blue cats have been systematically weakening and discriminating against the black cats for centuries. Durin, the blue cat, describes torturing and murdering black cats with delight. Fran is terrified until teacher reassures her that she is not alone. Fran severs Durin's limbs and loots his sword, swearing that one day black cats will no longer fear blue cats, then severs his head. She considers killing August as well, but is stopped by Klimt, who has made a deal with August's father in which August will be placed under house arrest in exchange for a large fee to the guild. The elven-eared woman, a rank adventurer Amanda, appears and instantly falls in love with Fran's cuteness, declaring herself Fran's new mother, which Fran rejects. Amanda begins following Fran everywhere until she complains to Nell, who reveals Amanda actually runs an orphanage, earning the title Guardian of Children, despite seeming a creepy stalker. Klimt offers Fran 5 high-level monster crystals in exchange for her cooperation in investigating a spider monster nest in a previously defeated dungeon. Fran agrees and is granted permission to investigate another active dungeon near Almud Village. Teacher absorbs the crystals to level up again, but Fran is despondent when Amanda insists on joining the quest as well. Fran discovers that defeating the spiders is also a promotion test for 2 E-rank teams, Dragon's Roar and Forest Eyes, which are being watched over by the examiner's crews, Rig and Isel. Crad, the leader of Dragon's Roar, accuses Fran of manipulating Klimt into unfairly promoting her and challenges her to a duel to prove she earned her promotion, so she beats him up with the flat of Teacher's blade. Amanda, intrigued, asks to duel as well, wagering that if she loses, Fran must call her mama. Fran is defeated after a short and difficult fight, but not before landing one hit on Amanda. Amanda is unharmed due to one of her defensive skills but is impressed Fran is the first person in years to come close to hurting her. Teacher is proud of Fran's progress. Unconscious, Fran dreams of her mother. When she awakens, she agrees to call Amanda mama, but Amanda stops her because Fran's mother clearly holds a special place in her heart, but she swears she will always support Fran. Using falsehood, Teacher determines that Amanda's every promise of motherly affection is genuine, and that she has truly earned the title of guardian of children. Crad realizes Fran is as powerful as everyone claims. Everyone gets ready to enter the dungeon the next morning. While the party is entering the dungeon, a sinister man approaches it. Amanda reveals that she has previously lost several comrades to this dungeon, prompting her to care for their orphan children. They battle booby traps, giant insects, and trap spiders while collecting their valuable silk. Amanda teaches Fran combat and magic while remarking on how unusual it is for Fran to be able to use 3 elements. Fran and Teacher quickly master thunder magic after learning about it. Fran thanks Amanda by sharing curry, which no one has heard of and she finds delicious. Deeper in the dungeon, the trap spiders have evolved into trick spiders with deadlier venom and greater strength and speed. The party disperses, but 2 of Crad's friends, Bart and Victor, cross paths with Fran and land on a teleport square. They are teleported away, without their weapons, including Teacher, and land in front of the massive trickster spider, the trick spider's ultimate, evolved form. As Amanda picks up Teacher and they search for them, Teacher is unable to contact Fran via telepathy, causing Fran to panic and ask what she can do without Teacher. The trickster spider, who has a female upper body, amuses Fran, Bart, and Victor by setting off booby traps on them. The group splits up to look for them, while Amanda goes off on her own. With few options, Teacher reveals to Amanda that he can speak and move, and summons an onyx wolf as a familiar to help him find Fran. The wolf goes berserk as a result of too much mana, and Amanda says familiars must be named. It calms down, evolves into the much larger darkness wolf, and follows Fran's scent after being named Urashi by Teacher. Fran, Bart, and Victor are incapacitated by poison darts and the trickster spider sends her spiderlings to devour them. Fran imagines herself as a helpless slave again, but a vision of Teacher inspires her to get up and fight back with her bare hands. Teacher, Urashi, and Amanda arrive and blast the trickster spider, who retreats, then heal Fran. Fran is delighted to meet Urashi, and they reveal Teacher's secrets to Amanda, who is amazed. They go to the rendezvous point to heal Bart and Victor, who had passed out and had no idea about Teacher, but no one else is there. They hear the trickster spider heal her wounds and screams before seeing a large white bird appear in a flash of light. The bird was Tarua, the familiar of a party member who leads the group to the others who are trapped by the trickster spider and her children. Fran battles the trickster spider as they rescue them. Amanda recalls adopting a male and female black cat named Keenan and Flamia but refusing to teach them how to fight out of fear of injuring them, which backfired when they tried to become adventurers anyway and were killed. Determined not to let Fran die, she annihilates the trickster spider, but angers Fran by destroying its crystal too. Klimt grants Fran permission to visit Ulmud after she has cleared the dungeon, and she is promoted. Garrus gives Fran new armor. Teacher is angered that it exposes her belly, but he shows it protects her with a force field. Garrus says he is going to Ulmud too, by a different route. Fran finally calls Amanda Mama as the guild bids her farewell, causing Amanda to realize Fran is Keenan and Flamia's daughter. Clint discusses how August's father hired someone to give the spiders evolution potions with his nephew, Taroa's owner. Despite her unusual strength, Taroa believes Fran has a good character and is not a spy. Fran rides Teacher through the sky, only to be knocked down and confronted by the necromancer Jean Du Vix.